Yo, you want to go? Let's do this.
Get out of here,
Come
bro.
on. Oh, yeah, you want some of this? Help. Oh.
This is why you shouldn't kick in a street fight. My main reasons for not using kicks when fighting are going to be determined on these main things. Number one, your environment. As you've seen what happened with Eric, he's outside in the snow. Right? You're like, okay, well, that's not that big of a deal, except for the fact that we're biped creatures. We're used to moving around on 2 feet, and that's where the majority of our balance comes from. So if your environment is slippery, maybe it's raining outside, maybe you got bad footwear on because you're coming off of work, right? All of these things have to come into play when you're thinking about actually kicking somebody. The next thing I want you to think about is how much training do you have? How many reps have you got in with your kicking in your life? I've been kicking since I was 5 years old. So with that being said, do I feel confident in my kicks? 100%. Would I use them on the street? Have I used them on the street? Not a lot, to be perfectly honest. And the reason why is because one night I was drunk. And when I was drunk, I went to go throw a roundhouse kick at Buddy's head, ended up on my ass. It wasn't the environment, it wasn't my training, it was the fact that I was too intoxicated. But there is a time and a place when you can use your kick.
If you put your hands on me again, you're gonna fucking regret it. Okay? Go sit down. Go sit down.
Start the fucking show. Bring on the next comic right now. Start right now.
What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you? He put his hands on me once, he was going to do it again.
So let's talk about what we just seen there, right? Comedian's there, he's getting heckled, Buddy comes up, he gets in his space, he's approaching that reactionary distance where now he needs to be able to engage into something, right? The other guy was being super threatening, so he tried to de-escalate the situation using his voice, using very good situational awareness and self-defense tactics. But the guy was pushing in and he was pushing in hard. Notice the comedian had his hands were full with his mic and the stand. So could he really use either of those as a weapon? Definitely a possibility. And this kind of makes me question, like, do you think this comedian has kicked before? Do you think he has some training because he felt confident enough to do it? If you actually look at the structure of the kick, it was a pretty decent kick. He was aiming at center of mass. He wasn't going for the head. It was a simple kick that moved the guy away from him. So again, a great time and place to be able to use it. Now we start looking at, is he intoxicated? We don't know, but I'm gonna make the assumption that because he's at work and he's a comedian, maybe he's had a couple drinks, but he's definitely not at a point where he has to worry about his balance messing with him a whole bunch. So with all those tied together, I think that's a great moment for him to be able to use a kick, right? For me, myself, if I was holding my kid and I didn't have any other chance, would I throw a kick? Yeah, 100%, because I'm not gonna throw the baby, punch him in the face, and then be able to do something with it. So there is always a time and place. My favorite kick for moving somebody away from me is the front kick. I kind of modify it in a whole bunch of different ways, okay? So I'm just gonna show it very, very basic, okay? Is kind of the teep push kick for all those Muay Thai kickboxing guys. They love driving the high knee and pushing them away. So high knee and be able to push away. I think it works great. It's definitely meant to move people away from you compared to like karate where they're trying to like snap into the kick itself and break a board. So they're more focusing on crane, snapping and through, right? All of that works great, but let's combine those together. Number one reason why is if I throw a teep with a really high knee, everybody's gonna see it coming. And the higher that knee goes, it's very easy for them to just step off to the side. So rule of thumb that I have is I don't bring my knee higher than my hip, okay? So you're like, okay, well, what is it that you're actually doing with the teep then? If you notice my teep motion, it was about me engaging my glutes and thrusting forward, moving them back. I think absolutely fantastic, taught in every single kicking martial art I've ever trained in, karate, taekwondo, kung fu, you're always talking about this hip thrust forward. So now let's add in that snapping motion of that kick though. So the way I like to think of it is the push kick or the teep sends them away. The snapping motion is actually like liquefying the organs or breaking the ribs or something like that. Then I don't want to drive that knee forward, or sorry, higher. I only want it going forward. So while I'm in my stance, I'm driving forward. I always like to kick with the back leg if I have time. I'm C-stepping through or just stepping through, so you can see with my footwork, I'm actually going forward. I'm not just kicking and staying in place. That's just me having a strong kick because I've kicked for 30 plus years. I want to use my energy, so I'm going to be really lazy in my snapping kick, and as I kick, notice there's forward energy. That's what's helping push him back. But let's combine all that together. I want the moment of impact to have some karate or taekwondo snap in there. Very important to cause some superficial or front level pain. Then I want that feeling to be able to move them back. So I'm gonna have to activate my glutes and drive forward. All this time, I'm hoping that my knee doesn't pass that hip line. Whenever I'm aiming at a target, notice I'm not kicking at head height or chest height. I'm aiming for the center. Just like when I was in the military, you don't try and shoot somebody in the face, you shoot them in the center of their mass. If we tie all that together, then we have a good chance of smashing it. So you can hear there's a little bit of snap on the bag itself, thanks, right? There was the pushing motion of my hips. There was that driving motion forward. There's a lot that comes into modifying that kick to be for self-defense. But the big thing that you're noticing, I'm not kicking above hip height. I'm 6'4". I can lift up my leg and kick somebody in the face very simply. But at the end of the day, I'm making sure that I'm doing what works the best. And sometimes that's the most efficient way. And how do you make efficient line? Straight lines going forward. Train your ass off if you want to kick, but be smart when you kick. That's the big difference with self-defense. Hey, what's going on? Way to make it to the end of the video. You're obviously very dedicated towards the learning of self-defense within your own self. So with that being said, if you want more information or if you want more things to train, I've had lots of people reach out and inquire like, how do I train with you, Kevin? How do I learn your system? My group classes are full. My private lessons are full, so unfortunately I don't have anything for the time being, but Buddha Brothers and I, a couple of years ago, put together this fantastic digital seminar, and it literally goes through everything that you could probably think about. So with that being said, it's on buddhabrothers.com. Click the link below. Make sure to like and subscribe for all the major content that we're gonna be putting out. And we're doing this free for you guys because we want you to build confidence, for you to feel safer on the street so that we can make this world a great place. But you gotta train your ass off to get there. So keep up training. Good job.